Welcome back, folks, to Market on Close on this Friday. It is time now for Options Corner. Let's bring in the one and only Kevin Green. All right, my man, what are you seeing into the close here with 29 minutes left to go in today's session?
Yeah, we are seeing a little bit of a fade since the highs of today's session. And obviously, there's a lot that's going on right now. Currently, we have attacks in Israel here. But going into the close, what you really want to be able to hold is that 59.50 level to the downside here. We have seen some flows there pretty much all day. And that was an area that we kind of identified early on this morning as well. We got fairly close. We got to around 59.60, 59.64 or so. If we can hold here and kind of retrace back, try to get back to the 6,000 level, I think that's going to be a win for the bulls for the most part here. What you do not want to have happen is go below that 59.50 level, getting to the 20-day moving average, which right now is sitting at around 59.44 and some change here. That could be an area for us to really bounce off of, but you don't really want to see a flush, a significant flush going into the weekend. That would not give you a lot of confidence if you're a bull. But obviously, we might see some de-risking going into the close here.
Kevin, I wonder what you're seeing in terms of overall volume for a day like today. Of course, we have been front and center with the news of geopolitics, which has had its own impact on various parts of the market. And I wonder if there's a bit of a reaction on the volume side there as a result of that or anything else you're tracking.
Yeah, what's actually very interesting here for the volume, we're not seeing anything that's completely too outsized here. Even though we are seeing a down session, the volume has been, for the most part, kind of tame. Now, what we are looking at here is the S&P 500 composite up minus down volume here, looking at the difference. And obviously, we are in the red right now. So the majority of the volume flows and for these stocks are on the sell side here or the negative side of the down volume. But if you kind of look at this kind of mosaic, it's not that aggressive today. So yes, we have some red on the screen. It is a Friday, but I would not say that this is an outsized day when it comes to volume, which would suggest if we did see a very large volume day that this selling could actually continue. This does not seem to be the case here. We might have some repositioning happening. We do have OPEX next week as well, for, June OPEX, as well as that's a quarterly OPEX. So you have some rotation, some positioning, maybe some risk off sentiment taking place here, but nothing that's too outside of the norm. This is an orderly sell-off, JD. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't freak out today. This is an orderly sell-off. If it does continue through Monday or Tuesday and it's still in this type of manner, I think that is, for the most part, orderly. If you actually look at the volatility curve for the VIX, it's still actually in a normalized curve. We're not seeing a backwardation, or we're not seeing a situation where volatility in the near term is elevated compared to what we see in the back half. So this is actually a very normal curve. So overall, once again, maybe a little bit of risk off. This is an orderly sell-off. Let's hold 59.50 into the close. And if we're able to do that, I think that's actually a pretty decent day, given the events that are taking place.
Kevin, if there's going to be a sell-off, thank goodness it is an orderly one. So I do appreciate the context there. You mentioned next Friday, so it's an interesting day here for options expirations, KG, because we have the Juneteenth holiday on Thursday. Markets close. We come in for one day, and we have a reconstitution and options expiration. Very busy day for a lot of the brokers down here and the DMMs at the New York Stock Exchange. What do you look for, and what will you be paying attention to next week, knowing that is a big one in the option space?
Yeah, you're just looking for options, repositioning, rolling out of the June contracts, getting into September's. Those are the larger institutions that are leveraging options in order to collar positions in an underlying portfolio or even to speculate. So you're going to have some readjustments there. You will have also readjustments within the VIX complex, not only VIX options, but also VIX futures. And then the futures contracts on the indexes are also going to expire on Friday morning. So there's going to be a lot happening that does also kind of coincide with very large volume. We can see very big disconnects on that day as well. Usually if we are trending in one direction going into the close, we could see a very violent reversal in the opposite direction. So days where we might see a 1% move to the downside to start an OPEX, you may actually see us turn green by the close. So it's a very fun day. Keep it on the calendar here. I'm very excited for it. And given the events that we have right now, we might see some fireworks actually taking place.
You know, that's why I love talking with you, because you say it's a very fun day, and I also agree that's a really fun day. Just unfortunately, most of my friends and family, they tend not to agree when I tell them how fun options expirations Fridays are, but I'm glad you and I can be aligned. You mentioned Vol Complex a short time ago. What else are you seeing there in terms of either VIX action or volatility complex overall, Kevin?
Yeah, so when you're looking at volatility, we actually kind of highlighted this the last couple of trading sessions. VVIX or vol of volatility was actually moving to the upside. And yesterday we just had a lot of indicators that were moving in the same direction that usually do not. And today we are kind of seeing that follow through or the readjustment there. If you're looking at vol, it's still relatively elevated, moving to the right. And that will actually boost up premiums, not only for VIX options, but also will translate to the VIX itself. In some respects, as people kind of look at that. But when you're once again, it's an orderly sell-off. You're not seeing any type of backwardation or a breakdown in positioning right now. I would just say let's see how everything materializes over the weekend. Sunday night, when we have the futures open, that'll give you a little bit more of a signal as to how the week is going to really play out. But this is not a bad day. Even though you were down 1%, this is actually not a bad day overall. It could be a lot worse. Let's say that.
Hey, 6 o'clock on Father's Day, folks. Set your notifications to take a look at futures into Monday. Kevin Green, thanks a lot as always. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks a lot for the context. Great to have you.